Welcome to a new episode of the DJwivesLV podcast. Let's begin.
Hey, everyone. Welcome. Today, joining us as a co-host is Hector, a.k.a. DJCO1.
Woohoo. What's going on?
He is the voice on the intros to all our podcast episodes. And he's also the voice of Las Vegas on your radio airwaves on Q100.5. Welcome, Hector.
Yeah, what's up?
Welcome, babe.
And on that note, welcome to my home, because you guys are in my studio today.
Yeah, we're in an actual recording studio
This is
today.
the radio. This is the, essentially I use this for Q100.5, 98.5. And long story short, long meaning 15 years worth, those chairs that you guys are sitting on, because I'm sitting on chair one, essentially, right? This is like chair one where the main microphone is at. You guys are sitting where many, many different celebrities, artists, performers, entertainers have sat. So, it's kind of cool.
So special.
Right?
Yeah. Thank you for having us here.
Thank you for letting
Thanks
us.
for the clearance, babe.
Yeah,
Got
Picasa's
it.
tu casa. So what's going on?
Well, on that note, my husband has an incredible, rewarding career, and I do want to start off by, congratulating him and applauding him for his recent recognition to 2023 Nevada's Broadcasters.
Hall
I'm
of
going to read it. Association Hall of Fame.
Yay.
NBA,
So formal.
not the NBA,
I know.
but like,
so
Nevada
proud of you.
Broadcasters. So
No, it's
been
fun.
a big deal.
That was, Tanya got to go with me to that. And the reason why it was cool was because I don't think many people ever end up having enough formal events. Like we like to play dress up sometimes, right? I mean, I think everybody
Yep.
does.
Yes.
So that's always a fun thing to do. We got to kind of dress up a little bit, wear a sports coat, be amongst various colleagues. And I'll say this, I got a couple of awards there. We get the trophy award, and that is cool. But to me, I told Tanya, I go, I don't want to say this to anybody else, but the trophy's cool. That's what they present you with on stage. And then they give you a stack of certificates signed
Yes.
by anybody who's a part of Congress, Senate,
Wow.
or here in the state of Nevada. And I'm like, the trophy's cool, but oh man, look at this! I got the senator,
Recognitions,
I got the
Yeah.
the congresswoman, the congresman, the mayor. So that was really cool because I'm a community guy, so I enjoy seeing those names.
Right.
On a certificate or an award, something like that.
So going back though, how do you get nominated for something like this?
So somebody in one of your peers, or for me, it was my general manager and my operations manager. They nominated me. There are certain requirements. There are a couple minimum requirements, and I believe you have to be in radio for a minimum of 20 years and just have certain things going on. So I've clearly been in radio for 24 plus years or something like that. And they nominated me, and it was a lot of fun. I was in there. The class was really cool. A lot of great people from Vegas, just in general, like Dana Roselli, who's a good friend of ours. She's she was on Channel 8, and she worked with us here.
Fox 5,
Oh my God!
I think.
Yeah, I forgot the gentleman's name, but one of the other gentlemen who used to work, he was part of More on Fox 5. But it was just a great lineup. The whole team that was a part of that was amazing. All the recipients, a lot of great people from. Again, it represents community, right? Because they're the people who have a voice in this community, and so it was cool.
It was great. And we're in radio studio right now, and we want to learn. In case people don't know, babe, tell them what it is to do in here that you should not do, what makes it fun, because when they see you probably on Instagram or doing your videos, they probably see that you're having a good time. And
it comes so naturally
Right?
for you.
Well, and that's just being around this type of equipment for a long time. A lot of my peers, as I said, you get used to it. A lot of it is just muscle memory, right? But you can't see in this particular instance, but we have the board, and the boards in here are very, very specific. They're strategically put together to record certain items, to push out certain items, to for you to hear something on your headphones that you don't hear over the air. Just a lot of different variations of how you take in audio and push audio back out. But there's a lot to go to, or with it.
The don'ts, like you do not want to have, like when it's dead air,
like
that's a bad
you never
thing.
want to have dead air in radio. You never want to hit the wrong button. You never want to make sure that you hit the microphone button by accident and then you say something that you're not supposed to, or you're on air by accident or something like that.
Do you have time to like omit that for not to go on air?
So there's a machine. It's called we call it the dump machine, and the dump machine is something that what you listen on the radio live. And it varies per station, but for our station, for Q100.5, you're actually listening to 8 seconds later.
Okay.
Yeah, the delay. The delay is 8 seconds. So if I say, fucking shit, right? I can hit the button, boop, boop, and then it'll dump those 8 seconds.
Okay.
So then on the air, it'll just stretch out where you won't hear that part.
Okay.
Any scenario
There's a lot behind radio.
where you had
It's
to
fun.
do where it didn't go, it went past the 8 seconds and you got a call, or does an email go out?
I've only cursed once on the radio, and it wasn't here. It was in Reno. And I was out there mixing with the guys when I used to do radio in Reno. And I had like 4 beers in me, and they made a mistake putting me on the turntables.
Well, yeah.
Because I felt I was like at a barbecue. I'm like, yo, da-da-da-da-da.
Bar talk. Hector felt very
And I was like, I'm
comfortable.
having such a effing great time with you guys. Oops. There
Dump
goes
it.
that. So, but that was fun.
Was
Yeah.
there ever a time that a celebrity or anyone you interviewed just would not stop, and you just had to sort of
Like
Yeah,
cursing
how
or
do you
just
do
in
that?
general? No. I think they're all pretty much. I think when you get as a performer, as an artist, as a celebrity, by the time you get to like radio interviews, I think their
Polished.
marketing team and their PR team and their reps absolutely have them polished to the sense they're like, please don't say this, don't say that, and stay
Right.
away from this. But sometimes you do have great conversation and you get so comfortable that you just let loose, and it happens sometimes.
All right, tell us
I've
a
never
guess.
had that problem,
A
but
guess that let loose with you, babe. Like,
nothing's ever been bad. Everything's been great, but with me, I mean, I've had the opportunity to sit down. Like I
E40.
said, I've had E40.
Scorpio
E40.
man,
When he came in one time, he's like, blah blah. In his own. You guys know he has his own like language and the way he speaks. He's like, "What's up, man?" And then we found out that we're both like. We're Scorpios, and his birthday's the 15th. Mine's the 18th. So I said, well, look, I want to be respectful of your time, and I want to make sure that you just spend the time that you want with us. We don't want to push you into anything, for the length of the interview. And he goes, how much time you got? I go, man, I'm here for at least another 2-3 hours. That's how much time I got. And he sat with me for like 2 hours and interviewed. And this is when he was releasing his Earl Stevens wine and all the liquor and stuff like that. So that was a really good time. And ever since then, I've had a good relationship with him. It's been fun. I mean, he's just one of many names, but it's been great.
Have you ever been nervous to talk to someone, or like just a little bit more apprehensive to talk to anyone?
And it just recently happened. And I'm wearing his hoodie.
what time is it?
I had Morris Day. So as many people know, Morris Day is my favorite artist in the entire world. And the fact that he's still alive, thank you, God, because a lot of people who have so many different, artists that they want to see or wish they would have seen, they'll eventually end up passing away, or something happens, or they end up in jail. And you just never get to experience him. I never got to experience Rick James. I did get to experience Prince. And I've had the opportunity to check out Morris Day multiple times. But I've developed a relationship with him now where I can freely reach out to him or his manager. And he had the performance that we went here with Bev and
the Strat.
Tanya. We went to the Purple Rain Legacy performance that he had at the Strat. And he was like, yo, let's talk on the phone. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I finally got to talk to this guy. Like, he's my musical idol. And then he goes, let's talk again. So I talked to him again. And then suddenly they're like, I'll just come into the studio. So I told Tanya, I go, man, I don't even know how to I know everything about him. But how do I introduce someone who you consider your musical idol? And he's the only one that I've ever... I feel like I did a good job.
You did.
But... were my
The
palms
jitters,
sweaty?
were they? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Was I overly... And it wasn't nervousness, it was excitement.
Yeah.
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 Because in the same chair, again, I've had the Ice Cubes of the world, the E40s of the world, off air.
Sierra, we had
Sierra, Miguel. I mean, the list goes on and on, but that's
It's
just a blessing from being on radio and being able to be around all those individuals. We were talking off air about Kendrick Lamar, how sometimes I've had some really cool stories, behind the scenes stories.
Yes.
What you push out on Instagram is what people get that visual or perception of what you think you experience with somebody, right? So I can put a cool picture of some celebrity and in reality hate the interview, right? But in some instances, I've had such great opportunities to hang out with these guys that they truly become friends, or are like they'll give me their cell phone number and I'll never call them, but it's surreal stuff, you know? So you end up enjoying the time in those moments because they weren't just a typical interview. They were like actual hangouts, and it was fun, you know. And the thing with Kendrick Lamar, we were talking, I mentioned that when he came, I was one of the first people to interview him on the West Coast. And when Vice One, rest in peace, when he brought him to me, I'm like, okay, these guys are going to pull up in limo or a Suburban or something. They pulled up in a Toyota Camry. And I'm like, this is Kendrick Lamar. And, you know, but it just shows you the type of people that those individuals are.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's fun.
That's cool. Any particular way that you can differentiate your roles? Because being on air is a certain mindset. You know, you're on the air. There's no time like we do. We prep and prep and prep, and we still freaking mess up. But like for you, and then to all the other events compared to like a Raiders game, a stadium event, a concert, how do you change roles, babe? It's hard for me.
Again, I think it's just muscle memory at this point in time because, and by you referring to the roles, it's speaking to being a Raider personality and being on the air every day, right? So I'm on air from 10 to 2 every day, and I prep in the mornings. I'll get up and I'm like, okay, what's going on in TMZ? What's going on in local news? What's going on Instagram? What's going on Twitter? And then you kind of pick and choose the topics. Then, you know, you go on with your show, you add your persona, and then you have giveaways, and you do that. I'll leave here and I have a station event. Now you got to be that person, right? You're representing the radio station. At a concert, it's completely night and day because there I'm a DJ for a little bit. Then I'm the host and the MC and presenter. Yeah. So now you're like, okay, now you got to be in front of all these people and figure out what you're appropriately going to say, welcome everybody, do all that stuff. And then sporting events, which is one of my biggest part now in my life, is people think, oh, it's so cool to DJ for the Raiders. Oh my gosh, it's so cool to DJ for UNLV, the soccer games. People don't realize that, like, we have a game, today is Saturday, we have a game Sunday, tomorrow, and I've been prepping since Wednesday, you know. I have to make stadium edits of songs, squeaky clean versions of songs. In this instance, by the time that people watch this, you'd know that the Raiders have had a change in coaching. Well, the most recent coach made a statement that he's from Compton and he grew up listening to NWA. So guess what I'm going to have for Sunday's game?
You ready?
NWA. You know, DJ Quick, born and raised in Compton, straight out of Compton, you know, just like Compton, all these songs. So you take a lot of these things into strategy because you know you're going to place them at some point in time during the game. If not in the game, in the warm-ups. Is coach out on the field? Is it a good time to play this? Are we having a good game? So there's a lot of tedious things that take place, and people don't understand. Like my library has doubled, essentially, my music library, because if I have a good version, I'll give you guys one example before we move on, is most recently, Little John's, what is it? From the window to the wall, when your sweat goes down your balls, right? It became very popular recently because of the movie The Proposal.
I
love it.
And it's
Still
such a big song. It's just a big fun party song, right? Well, I want to play that at the stadium, but I can't play when my sweat goes down my balls.
Right.
So I have to edit those songs, make them stadium friendly, make sure that they're available for, you know, for kids' ears.
Is there a clean version to that song?
I made a clean version of that song.
How?
So, from the windows to the wall. And then I repeat it, from the window to the wall. And then I just go into like the bridge. But you still related to it, right? You're like, oh my God, I still love that song.
And it's still a song.
It'll probably come out of people's voices, but you're like, wait.
Yeah.
But so, yeah, that's what I'm saying. You have to be very, very strategic about it. And that's what makes the difference in roles, like, you know, DJ. And then I go to the club. At the club, they want the dirtiest version, right? So I'm going to play the dirtiest version.
Want to sing and they
so you guys understand, being that you guys are DJ wives, we have different crates for every possible scenario. And that's what happens with me in different types of roles.
That's cool. So I know at the house, I see equipment everywhere, as you girls may know. But there's a controller, and I get to try to learn what this looks, because it looks exactly like that. What for you, babe? Do you have to have a
I'm
certain
not.
weight.
People call me like a hoarder for gear, but I'm not. Here's the difference. No, I'm gonna explain this.
Or not a hoarder. You're an you're an expert.
And that's exactly
there you go.
it.
Yeah.
Expert collector.
There you go.
I still have my original 1210 MK2s technique black turntables that I will never get rid of for the rest of my life. I already told Isaiah, no matter whatever happens, these two things have to stay in this home. And I use them. That's how I still record. But for the instance of having different types of events, so I have like 4 or 5 controllers. And again, people are like, "Oh, you're so spoiled," you know. And I hate it when people go, "Must be nice that you can afford that."
I know. I don't
It's
like
not
that.
must be nice. I busted my ass to make the money to buy them. You know, it's like it's not must be nice. Is it great to have them? Yes. So I have one controller. This is the Pioneer SRT 1000, and I skinned that one. I customized it to have the Raiders logo on it. So I exclusively use that at the stadium.
Yes.
And the
So you bring your controller to the stadium.
yes,
Okay.
because I want to be in my own environment. I want to be comfortable, right? So, but it's cool. It has all the Raiders custom logos and everything. And I only want to use that there. I don't want to take that to a club. Someone spills a beer and something. And now I can't use it at all.
Right.
Then I have the new Rev 5, which is the latest technology. I want to be ahead of it. I want to be ahead of all things that are being released that are coming. So I practice with that. Then I have the Flex 10, which is my every other type of gig controller. And then I have a mini controller.
I like that one. I thought I can do.
The
Is that
tiny
the
little one?
Yes.
And then I have the tiny controller. It's the size of a laptop. Does everything that a big controller does, and it's my ass saver. God forbid anything ever happens, but I carry that with me all the time. If one of my controllers goes bad, that one you just plug in and it works. So that is the reason why I have all these controllers. Yeah. It's not because I want to be cool and I want to have more than anybody else. The thing is, I work at such a different level. It's not like I'm doing a gig for my auntie's quinceañera and my cousin's quinceañera and all this. Like, I'm working for professional sports teams.
Right. They expect
I cannot
quality.
jeopardize anything other than working hard. I mean, they expect 110% from me every time I'm out there. So
And
that's
he does.
what that is.
And that's why he's at
That's
it.
why I do a lot of prep work,
yeah.
and I'm ahead of. I just bought a new laptop.
Yeah, sometimes the lights in our, it looks like a
I'll give you
club.
guys the listing real quick from the Raiders. I take 2 MacBook Pros, a Surface Pro, an iPad, and a quick trigger machine.
So you have 2 backpacks with you when you go to the game?
No, one heavy one.
One heavy one.
One heavy
Yes.
backpack and 2 controllers.
Yes, and that's the thing. Being mobile, like the fact of the gear, you have to consider the weight and what's going to be more easier.
That's why. That's the other part.
The duration of the game and all that stuff after the fact. So he puts a lot of like quality time in finding the best. And
I just want to have the best cables.
Yeah.
I can't. Like, people need to understand.
You invest.
I'm not DJing for the club that if something happens, someone can just hit the iPod.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm playing for 65,000 people, and if I fuck up, 65,000 people know that I messed up.
yes,
It's not a good thing.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So other than that, do you guys want to interject with anything?
Well, yeah, I mean, Hector, you wear so many hats.
Mm-hmm.
You have so much going on in your life. I want to know, what do you consider relaxation, and what do you do to relax?
That's a great question. What I do to relax is I sit there in shorts or underwear in my loft office. I'll have my
Nice
son.
visual for us.
Can you imagine?
Thanks.
Tanya's seen it.
Sexy.
I'll have my son. I'll say, "Yo, bring me a couple waters and
A tea or
and a tea.
something?
Bring me a tea." And usually, and he's like, "What kind of tea do you want?" And,
Oh,
so then I just sit there and I watch TV. I like to binge watch. For whatever reason, Thursdays kind of seem to be like one of those days where I don't have gigs, which is amazing because they have Chicago PD all day long.
We love Chicago PD,
And
yeah.
I'll binge watch Chicago PD for like 8 hours. I'm not just watching. I'm still doing stuff on the
Yeah.
side.
Yes, he does, yeah.
But I love doing that. Sometimes Sundays when I don't have games, we just, you guys know, we'll sometimes meet up with you guys.
Glass
We'll go
of
have
wine,
dinner.
sushi.
Yeah, and we just try to get out and do food and drinks. And
You love to
and
watch.
I'm okay with that.
When those survival videos a lot.
Oh yeah, I'm on YouTube.
Yes.
I'm a
So
maniac
if it's not
about
buying
that.
equipment, we're buying like if the apocalypse or we're like stranded somewhere. We
I just
definitely
like
know.
watching survival stuff because I'm always
Come and
I'm always
join us.
prepared.
You will survive.
Remember, I told everybody during pandemic, if anything happens, you guys come to my house.
Yes.
I have everything.
I still remember that. But speaking of YouTube, I heard you have your own YouTube channel.
So I do have a YouTube channel that I'm
did
trying.
not know
I
that.
want to. It's very minimal right now, but I have some interviews. I have some quick like DIY things for DJs and very quick tutorials for making mixes. One of my goals this year, or at least towards the end of the year, is to have a mini YouTube studio at home. As you guys see all this craziness with all these cameras here and all this stuff, but I want to just make it more formal where I can make tutorials. Obviously, I'm not trying to do it like people do it for finance, and I want to make you. I just want to do it because I know that I have a lot of knowledge that a lot of people ask me about all the time, and I want to share it. I'm one of those individuals that never minds sharing ideas.
I think Brian calls you. Like,
yeah, no, and I love it. Like for anything.
Yeah.
But I appreciate that because I just. It's hard to get to learn stuff on how to do stuff, how to record. Something as simple as making a DJ mix. You guys know this. Hey, I made a mix for my girl. You record it on cassette, hit play, record, and you record it. Now, you'd think it'd be easier for people, but I think it's so easy that it makes people more stupid. And
you think because of the technology,
well, that's my
it
point.
makes it easier, but not if you don't know how to.
It's so easy to record now.
Exactly.
But I think it's so easy that people go, huh? What? Oh, I just hit that? And I think it dumbed down the whole logic of how to do things. And that's why my YouTube channel is just to show people, look, if you want to do an edit on a song, this is how you do it. It's literally don't think more than what it is.
What's the name of your channel?
It's
Hector Gadget.
No, I changed it.
You changed it.
Yeah,
it was.
It's MJ's. I think Hector MJZ or something like that. I don't know.
We'll
I'll put it in the notes.
Yes,
I'll put it
thank
right
you,
here.
babe.
I'll put it right here.
There you go. Thank you.
So,
Are you also going to show us how to make a good old fashioned
a drink? An old fashioned drink? I love old fashions. I don't drink them
Anybody
often.
that comes to the house.
Yeah.
Yeah, I posted this on my Instagram channel enough times, but I love old fashioned, just whiskey, bourbon, and I bought my own smoker.
Yes.
To smoke the old fashions, and that's just that is one of the things I do when I'm there by myself, relaxing, listen to music, and just make an old fashioned and sip on it.
Nice.
That's it. Easy enough.
And tell us when you travel, babe. Do you have a way or a routine?
See how she asked me this
I
stuff?
want to know this.
I'm very particular about travel. I always want to be prepared. I always want to be the oh no, they lost my luggage, but I can still do what I need to do, right? That kind of guy. So that's part of what I do on YouTube. I'm in there like YouTube University for me all the time. Like what size do you need for like your deodorant? I buy the toothbrushes. If you need space, you break it in half.
It's hard to travel with him.
It's not hard.
sure
It's just
it's
I have
helpful.
it is.
I have the answer to every possible scenario when
I
we travel.
love that because you're totally opposite from B-Stang because B-Stang doesn't even know what flight we're on or what airline.
Oh,
so
let
at
me give you
least
guys-
we can you're in charge
glad you
and
mentioned that.
know where we're going.
We're going to be on the same flight. So
I know,
think
soon
we're
enough.
covered.
I'm glad you mentioned that
fun.
though, because here's a little tip and trick from good old Hector. When you don't want to spend the extra $25 to pay for early bird check-in, you buy your regular flight, and then the minute you buy the flight, you see the flight's at 7:55 p.m. or whatever. Set an alarm for 6:50 the day before so that you're ready to check in, because you can check in 24 hours before a flight.
Right.
So if you check in, again, if the flight's at 7:55
He sets
the next
an
day,
alarm
I set the alarm for
purposely.
7:50 the day before.
Okay.
Right.
So when it's 10 seconds before the 24-hour window, you go in there and you check in and you'll get like B section.
I'm always
Yeah.
late. Yeah.
I don't blame you.
That's because you're probably checking in the day of. So we're at Disneyland on a Sunday. We're getting ready to go and start doing our thing. And I get that beep, 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 beep. Oh, it's time to check in for the flight for tomorrow. So I immediately check in and we end up getting B seats.
Yes, and
no
he's an
problem.
aisle guy. He doesn't want windows. He's, very particular.
You don't like the window seat.
Nah.
Brian doesn't like either.
I feel like it
the window
encloses me
seat.
even more in
I
an
do too.
airplane.
I think all you DJs want that.
To get in, get out, right? Or
I just-
something.
I don't want anyone to bother me, so that's why I
Right.
like that.
See, I just feel it makes me. I'm not claustrophobic, but it makes me feel like I'm now even more. You're already in an airplane. Now you're like against. I don't know. I just have something against
And you
that.
never check in your bags. Always
Never check in
carry
my
on.
bag.
never check in. You guys never check in.
No.
No.
Yeah, I don't know about our upcoming trip, so this is gonna be interesting, babe.
No,
I'm
but there's certain
traveling
ways.
with my
When you
lady.
travel, I should do a video about this at some point. But like roll your shirts, roll your underwear. And another tip is, I don't know why people don't know this, but especially for DJs, when you're sweating and you're DJing, always take dry sheets in a Ziploc bag.
Dryer sheets?
Yes.
The dryer sheets, because they smell great. So what you do is you take them out and you stick them in with your dirty laundry. Mm-hmm. So when you travel, your shit don't stink.
I actually put that in my luggage.
Yeah, me too.
I
always keep it out
I
there.
usually just carry them in
I need
my
to
little
remember to
Ziploc.
do that. That's a good,
Yeah.
Any other travel tips? That's a good one.
You know what?
like
Back
that
in the
one.
day when you would, I would do the same thing, set the alarm. You would get A seats. But
Well,
not anymore.
Yeah, not anymore.
Oh,
People
Because
pay
people
for
are
it.
bougie now.
Yeah.
Enough people pay for the early bird check-in. I'm like, I'm not trying to pay an extra $25-$30.
We'll save that for the cocktails or.
Yeah.
And what do you do
that's
when
my
you
other
land?
thing.
Mm-hmm.
Every time I travel, every airport that I land on,
Yes.
I always try to go look for a local beer, drink, or wine, no matter where we end up. So like Oakland, I don't think I've ever flown into Oakland. So when we fly in, we'll have a drink, and then I don't know, there's an Oakland beer, but we'll
Regardless,
see.
we'll go to the
something
bar.
Bay Area, something.
We'll go to
Anyhow,
the bar before we go to our Uber and head to our
Sounds
destination.
good. Sounds good. I want to ask about your numerology
Oh yeah.
facts that,
Yeah, I mean, I'm
talk to
by
us
no
about
means
that.
am I an expert in numerology. I'm just a fan of it. I believe in it. The world's based on numbers, everything from the solar system to everything. So I just follow it. I ran across a friend of mine, right, I became friends with this gentleman who was a numerologist, and everything absolutely. I'm not here to sell him to nobody. Plus, he passed away. But everything that he mentioned to us absolutely came true.
Meaning, yeah.
Absolutely came true.
And this is when
everything.
you started, I don't want to say believing in
No,
numerology,
but just focusing
kinda,
more into it, like just paying attention to it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and everything he mentioned was like, oh yeah, on this date, on that date, on this number, this is, and then he explained to me like my whole Scorpio side, like how the Scorpios are a certain way. There's like not many gray area Scorpios. You're either this or you're that. And
What's your number? What's your
so my
usually-
birthday's on the 18th. So 1 + 8 = 9. You always try to minimize it to one digit. So my strength number is the 9. So it makes throughout the month, I make big decisions on the 9th of the month, the 18th of the month, and the 27th of the month, because 2 + 7 = 9.
And you're aware of that every time you're thinking, okay, I'm going to make a decision.
All the
I'm going to
time.
wait.
Yeah, he's
okay.
very.
And I don't want to say that I am an expert in it, but I've made pretty good decisions, and I consider myself pretty successful at this point in time.
And what's been funny with some of your your badges that you've had?
Oh
they
yeah, I was telling
always
Tanya
equate
this. All
to
of my
the number
Raider
9.
badges and all these badges that you get like credentials, and you get it like I don't know if
3,
it's
4,
an
5,
employee
6,
number
7,
or whatever
8,
it is.
and
Okay.
somehow.
But they've all add up to 9.
That's kind of freaky.
Right?
Like a little scary.
It's like the numbers 4023.
Huh.
All right, 2 + 3 = 5. 5 + 4 = 9. Like in that, or
Yeah.
like 1701 or something like it. And I'm going, oh my god, this was kind of meant to be.
And the 27th annual, the recognition for the
Oh, yeah,
Hall of Fame. 2
yeah.
+ 7, 9. I was like, okay, that's
Yeah, I got into the Hall of Fame on the 27th
crazy.
annual Hall of Fame. It's crazy. So see, don't know.
it's what follows me. He has some aura.
but you know what's the best
Yeah.
part about it? I share a birthday with Mickey Mouse.
That's why I rub his belly a lot for good luck. Yes.
I just think nothing's a coincidence,
Yes.
So it's like
that's numerology.
That's
what numerology
Yeah.
is. Nothing is a coincidence.
Right.
That's exactly what that is. Yeah. Again, I don't know much about it. I focus onto it. I paid attention more to it. I try to read about it. But some people are experts, I guess I wouldn't say. And yeah, I mean.
So, babe, your hard work, it goes way back to like probably when you were a young buck. Why? I mean, I think people need to understand, like, you do so much and they probably look at you like, oh, just the opportunity, does that come his way? Not really. I think you...
No, I busted my ass since I was a
Yes, I
young
know,
kid.
you do.
I we were talking about this again off air, that I started with the paper route, which was a lot of fun. I worked with my older brother, cleaning windows. We've talked about that before, even during pandemic when we had episodes.
Wait, how old were you when you started working? Before you were 16,
Well,
I'm sure.
yeah,
You were
when I
doing the
went with my
paper
bike route, I was pretty young. I told you guys and I happened to have the bike because I would ride my bike to CCD class, for my first communion. But yeah, getting up early. So I was having this conversation with my son. I'm like,
Right.
dude, here's the deal. You're gonna have to get a job at some point. Blah 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 blah, and do whatever, right? But then I'm trying to explain to him, like, I was doing paper routes.
At your
I was
age, I mean,
cleaning offices. Like I don't want to make it sound like typical janitorial stuff that Mexicans would do, and I hate it. But yeah, I mean that was life, and it got me through. Then I had
plus you added sports in school, so you still had to.
I played basketball in
keep up.
high school, and then I also had a dishwasher job at a restaurant since my late sophomore summer. I was young, but my friend was a manager, and he let me get a job at this place called Bureau Paredes, a restaurant in Orange County.
Love that place.
Started as a dishwasher there. That was a little bit of a breakthrough for me because now I was a junior now. You have to have money for
Everything.
just graduation type
Yeah.
events, getting ready for college the year later, and you needed a car.
Things you want to do with your friends.
Yeah,
maybe,
just being around stuff and doing stuff. And I remember I worked as a dishwasher for like 3 weeks. But I had particular hours because I was a kid in school, right? So I could only work till 10 o'clock, no later than 10. So it was always like, this guy's in and out. Like, well, he's a student. Then that was me. So I remember one time I'm washing dishes. And by the way, this restaurant, Bureau Paredes, was a very big, prestigious restaurant in Orange County. It was at the South Coast Plaza Mall. And that's where you could find like Pat Riley, like, Red Hot Chili Peppers. Like all these people would go there to... and the singer who used to sing there on Monday nights is one of the housewives of Orange County. I forget her name. But anyhow, so I'm washing dishes on the third week, and the general manager comes in, and I know this is going to sound so crazy, but so he's like, he's trying to speak in Spanish, right? He's like, senor, platos, forcos, spoons. I need
Hector's like-
platos, and I'm like, you need plates and forks? He goes, oh, you speak English? I'm like,
that's what's fucking messed up,
yeah.
Like they
no, but it turned out to be such a pivotal moment in my life, right?
Right.
And he's like, oh, yeah. We have a big party coming in, and I'm looking for this silverware and that silverware. And I'm like, okay, I got you. It'll get done in a few minutes. So dishwashing at a restaurant is no easy job, right? You got the big machines, the steam machines, and whoosh, you have to rinse everything. And so, like 2 weeks after that, my friend, he's like, hey, apparently, our GM's like, he appreciated what you did, so he wants to move you to be a busboy. I'm like, oh man, the busboy, I'm gonna get tipped now. I'm gonna tip money. And again, at that restaurant, tips were pretty decent, right? So I became a busboy. Then they're like, oh, well, now he can be a head busboy. Now he can do expediter, and expediters are people who take the the food out strictly. And then they're like, well, now, hey, this guy, it's my senior year now. Well, let's have him be a host. Oh, once I was a host, I was raking in the cash.
He was
17-year-old kid, 16, 17-year-old kid. And then before I knew it, it just changed a lot of things. By then I'd met Tanya, and then I started to go to college. I ended up at my other job where I ended up being there for like 9 years. Not 9 plus, like 9, 10 years.
You worked in a pharmaceutical company with Learn Vitamins.
Yeah, it was a company that produced vitamins, and it was the manufacturer and the company. So I got to learn a lot about that, and that's got me into being interested in pharmaceuticals, contraindications, being a pharmacist. I ended up doing mini medical classes at UCI.
So I'm saying this guy, whatever he touches,
of fun stuff.
It's all brain to him, and it's so
at some point, I
easy.
started
don't
DJing.
like
At some point,
for me, it's like
the natural transition, right?
yeah.
Pharmaceuticals, DJing.
Yeah.
Yes, like computers. He's a geeky at that. Like he can break down and add a memory and make it fall apart. And I was like, do you know what's going to go back there?
I got out of high school. I got accepted to Penn State, the UC system, the Cal State system. And I was going to go to Penn State, but I was a typical traditional Mexican son who stayed home with his parent.
Couldn't leave his mom.
So
Yeah.
But it's okay. Life turned out great.
Look.
Life turned out great.
Yeah, he met me too.
See?
Yeah. And you guys met before college then?
No, it was
During college, yeah.
Oh, during college.
Yeah.
Right at college. Yeah, we met
So
through
we
my
used
cousin.
to party. He loved to dance. He loved to dance too. He knows how to dance. So man, we were
Now I
having
got
a
bad
blast.
left
Do you still
knee. I got a bad left
I
knee.
tried that. Now he tries to just be the, standing.
He's the DJ.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm the one
That's good.
dancing, and I bring you girls along. And if not, then the dance was all for me. But Yeah, he does try to have fun with anything that he does. But I think because he learns all this stuff so naturally, it's enjoyment for him, like just to be like on top
Well, it's half
of,
and half.
you know?
I think, I just enjoy learning, and gaining more knowledge of stuff. And just, I always want to have a backup to the backup to the backup.
Yeah.
That's why I love to learn stuff. And it's 50-50. I enjoy it, but it's a double-edged sword because now I get so annoyed. I enjoy it and I get annoyed.
Oh, we know that, right?
Because I hate, I'm like, yo, all you have to do is X, Y, Z. Well, I did Z, Y, X. I'm like, oh, so it
Yes,
just,
believe me, I get it all the time
It's
at
that
my
kind of
house.
stuff.
Like, girls, help me out here,
I feel like I've almost ran my patience because I'm much older and I'm at the point where I'm focusing on myself and my business and just what I do and my son and Tanya and my home. And I've had enough time, and people have had enough time to pick my brain. And if you're finally doing it now, let's do it on my terms, which is my YouTube channel potentially, like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I have to say, if anyone does ever meet you in person, Hector, I think they will enjoy speaking with you because
I'm not mean though.
you have, yes, you're
He
very,
appears to be.
you're very kind, you're very smart, and we're grateful for you. Because
It's funny,
you've done
people say
so
I can
much
be
for us.
intimidating, and I think that might be just not because of me, but because of the person, right? I think if someone's intimidated by me, is not, they see themselves as, why am I
Right.
intimidated by this? And I always like to help people out. I always want to be around. I want to be the first
Just
one to
catch
get.
him on his good time. When he has the time, like, you'll get all of him, from a whiskey drink to a coffee drink to add some music to your library. Like, that's him.
Yeah,
you
don't
know?
call
But
me
when
on
he's,
the
like,
day before
on
game day.
Yes, I don't even bug him. It's like, do not disturb, and I get it. I just say, here's,
D&D all day.
here's
for
your,
sure.
and, I just appreciate his work ethics. He hustles at everything with no hesitation.
We all appreciate your
And he helps us, obviously.
No,
to make us-
and the thing is, I love doing it because that's my problem. I have this conversation with Brian all the time with B-Stang, is that not only do I want to be successful, but I want to see everybody around me to be successful, and I think we take on that weight, not in a bad way, just in the sense of like, no, we're not going to fail, right? Just recently, somebody asked me, like here at the station, they're like, some of the salespeople want to get to know you guys, and what is your thing? Like, what are your things? And they make you write these things, and then one of them was like, what's one of your favorite quotes? And I said, oh, that's easy. I believe it's oh my gosh, who said the quote? You'd think it'd be like Tupac or something like that, but no. But it's like, I never lose. I always win. No, I never lose. I either win or learn, right? And I never consider myself ever to lose. And I tell people, I don't lose. Like, that's my thing. And I'm very arrogant about that. I just don't fucking lose. I don't. That's why I consider myself successful. I don't.
Yeah.
That's why I'm a minimalist. I don't care about little things. Like we used to have the BMWs of the world. We used to have this. We used to have that. And they are great things to have because you can see them in two ways. They can be a trophy to yourself for the hard work.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can be like, I want to flash it. And no, it's like either decision is okay, right? But for us, we ended up giving away or not giving back like our lease and all this stuff. And some people were like, oh, you don't have the BMW anymore? Oh,
And that's
you
the
can't
thing,
afford it anymore? Like,
no, it's not.
no, I realize that I
don't
like having
want
an
to.
extra $300 in my pocket every month. That kind of stuff.
Well, also, people probably don't realize some of the richest people in the world don't exactly drive those flashy cars.
Exactly.
Right?
And
Yeah.
that's why I wear black T-shirts every day.
Yeah.
Why, babe? What's behind that? The black T-shirt.
Well, all the... It's
Like
just,
the Apple? What
It's,
is it?
yeah. Oh my God, I spaced
owner?
on his name. Steve Jobs.
yes.
Yeah, he would just wear jeans.
So he always
and,
tells me that, Blake, can you just
and black
have
shirts.
another
That's
like
it.
color, like add? I'm all
There's no
about,
need
like-
for it.
But he doesn't. He's straightforward with that. So,
Well, I think another occupation you could have accomplished is lawyer.
oh
That's-
yes.
Well, no.
Interesting.
Well, you know what I want to do?
Don't even go there, Bev, because here we go.
I'm a big community
Attorney
guy.
at law.
I've always told everybody,
He's done a lot of
I
communities,
want to get
yeah.
into politics.
I can see that happening.
Me
I
too.
wanna get into
yeah,
politics.
Me too.
One day, I was on air on the radio, and I'm like, hey, I did this because I do the stuff with Las Vegas Metro PD, and I do stuff with Candlelighters, and one day I'm like, you know what? one day I just want to run for office, whether it's a congressional district or something little. And then I'm like, what do you guys think? And people were like, I'll vote for you. I'll vote for you. And I said, hey, let's freaking do it.
We'll be behind
I just want to give a
that, for
representation
sure.
of my true life and story. And
Right.
I wasn't born with the silver spoon. It's not like I came onto this world with
Like who you
a
knew.
plan
It's
of
who,
what I was
it's
going to end
not
up
who you
doing.
knew, it's who you had the opportunity to just meet at the right time or learn from it and stay focused on
Yeah.
what you wanted to do and be goal driven. And I think that's
Look, I know
all
this
you.
podcast, you guys have a lot of great interviews with people, and you guys do a lot of great conversation. And with me, it's a little bit different because I'm so close to all of you. And sometimes I want to open up so much, but at the same time, I don't. Like, I don't know if that makes any sense. I have so much I want to share, but there's so much I want to keep because it's been such a tough battle, right? Sometimes.
Right.
So you're like, hell no, I don't want to give everybody my secrets. But at the same time, I'm like, no, I want everybody to succeed. I should give some secrets. And that's been one of the toughest things for me ever. Because I've been like that with my family.
Yes.
Like, God, I got to smack up this guy or this girl. Damn
Not
it.
me. Smack
No,
up me.
my siblings.
Oh, okay.
Siblings.
Not
That's understandable.
physically, just
Yeah,
like,
but
I got to shape these
no.
guys into this
Yeah.
or advise into that or do this or provide
I mean, if you want
guidance.
to smack it, I mean, sure, he does.
But no, but you know what I'm saying. But it's one of those things where you want to always be helpful, but at the same time you've helped. Like, you want to help yourself first.
I've heard that, like,
Also,
don't
yeah.
give out much more of your successes for some. Like, there's a saying like that.
You
I've
got to
heard
keep
it.
some stuff too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What would you
So-
say, babe, if you were to, if your younger self, if you would have heard somebody give you some advice? What can you say you would have, wish you would have heard back in your young days or when you started DJing? If there's anything you wish you knew you heard or knew at that time or anything that comes into you?
Nothing. I
Nothing.
wouldn't change anything.
Any advice you would give someone young and
Like
you know,
DJ wise?
Yeah, DJ wise, entrepreneur.
Yeah, just be savvy about your business aspect or the money part of it. That's another thing that I want to talk about myself at some point is people don't understand that you have to go out and get your EIN, which is your Social Security business number.
Yeah.
Get a business name, be a professional right out the gate, have insurance, be ready for anything, any type of event, any type of moment.
Insurance, all that stuff.
I had to learn all
these
that on my
venues.
own, and man, it sucked.
And then the tax part of it sucked.
In taxes, yeah.
We all know
Let's
that,
not
girls.
talk about taxes.
Yeah, well, I already know.
Where are the tissues?
There's no advice I would give to anybody other than just always be open and be willing to learn from others and never think that you're better than anybody else. And, I think I'm in a great spot, but I still consider a lot of my colleagues and peers to be way better than me. And always be a student.
And have fun.
That's it.
Right, babe? Have
I
fun.
always have fun.
Yeah. That's how we get to enjoy going to some concerts because
I'll tell you
I
this. Sometimes
see
you're
him
just
not
like,
work.
well, I'll
you
say
know?
this, and then I'll shut up after this. I'll say that, you're hired to do a job as a DJ, right? Go out and do this, go out and do that. So you go do your job. But there's now more than ever, more recently, I come home now and I'm like, Tanya, I fucking killed it. I had such a good time. Oh my God, this event was amazing. Oh, I'm having such a great time doing this. I got to meet that person. I got to do this. I was able to expand my role as not just a DJ, but as a host. And
I met
that
so-and-so
stuff,
or
yeah,
I
and
network with this guy. Now he,
So I
Yeah.
think I'm enjoying it more and more now.
And you should because when you do something for so many years, you get complacent or you feel like
You can get
it's
jaded.
and then the audience makes you feel that way too. Am I still giving it to them because the generations is different?
Well, some people can push themselves
So-
out of their own. I can
Yeah.
push myself out of, I'm over this. I'm tired of
Yeah.
DJing. I'm tired of this. But no, like I find something
We
different.
always get
I want to
into
find
it,
something
you know?
else, and then we go from there.
And now, so I strongly believe that, and I've seen all that from the ups and downs, and I try to just always have them still have fun with it and enjoy from the stresses to like say, but look what you got out of it. Yeah, it was hard work. Yeah, you didn't sleep. Yes, we didn't get to each other, but I'll do the drives. Whatever opportunities I get to just kind of spend time with him and have a vent or have him prepared. You got everything. It's all
nonstop
about
work,
it. It's,
you know,
it's
you just
like
gotta
every
be-
other job. It's just a different aspect.
And you got to have a good support team,
Well, I think we've always appreciated Tanya's support of you.
Yes.
Gracias.
Yeah, but just in general, like for you guys too, like if Dave is recording, not to bug him, and he knows if it's date night time, he needs to focus on that kind of stuff, right? Same with Brian, because me and Brian, talk a lot, and I'm like, yo, don't kill yourself doing these 3, 4 in the morning.
Gotta enjoy Miles.
I know that's
energy
his
for
job,
Miles.
and I know
say
that's what he
Hector's
does.
very influential.
But
Yes.
it's one of those things where,
Yeah.
like,
Good advice.
you do it, just don't do it consistently to the point where you're going to drive yourself out of, even physically. You know, he had surgery and all this stuff, and sometimes those things
we
just
hang in
don't
there. 40 plus
they don't
years,
make
right?
sense to diminish yourself or, you know, just talk yourself down. I don't want to sit there one day and be like, oh my God, I'm so tired of DJing. I can't believe I've been doing this. But no, it's been so rewarding. It's been more rewarding than anything else. So,
Yeah.
Hector,
Thank
we love your energy.
is that it? We're done?
We appreciate everything
Yes.
you've done for us.
No, it's
my
fun.
gosh,
This is
thank
fun.
So we want to thank you, husband, for
Thank
letting
you,
us
Hector.
come in and crash your workplace here and always letting us do our thing.
Yeah.
All right, I'll
Thanks
finish
to
the
you.
episode.
All righty.
Thank you for watching the new episode of the DJwivesLV podcast. Make sure you subscribe. Peace.